It was a peaceful evening in the small town of Willow Creek. The streets were empty, quiet, and calm, with only a few people walking their dogs. The soft orange glow of the setting sun bathed the town in warmth, making everything seem serene. Lucy, a 17-year-old girl, sat by her bedroom window on the second floor of her house, looking out at the stillness outside. She could see her neighbors heading home, and the sound of birds chirping added to the calm atmosphere. But there was something strange about the silence. It felt heavier than usual, almost unnatural. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The next morning, Lucy turned on the TV as she ate breakfast, expecting the usual news and weather updates. Instead, a bright red alert flashed across the screen. Breaking news. Unusual virus spreading quickly. Authorities urge everyone to stay indoors and avoid contact with others. Her heart raced as she listened to the anchor explain how the virus was spreading rapidly across nearby towns. Lucy immediately picked up her phone and called her best friend, Mike, who lived across the street. "Have you seen the news?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Yeah," Mike replied. "It sounds serious. This could be bad, really bad. We need to prepare for whatever's coming." That afternoon, Lucy and Mike decided to check on their neighbor, Mr. Wilson. He was always outside working in his yard, so they thought he might know more. But when they approached his house, they froze. Mr. Wilson was stumbling around his yard, growling like an animal. His skin was pale, his eyes were glassy, and there was dried blood on his shirt. Lucy grabbed Mike's arm. Is he a zombie?" she whispered, unable to believe what she was seeing. They backed away slowly, terrified of what might happen if he noticed them. Lucy and Mike rushed back to their houses to gather supplies. They knew they couldn't stay in the neighborhood if things were getting this dangerous. Lucy packed a backpack with cans of food, water bottles, flashlights, and a baseball bat she found in her garage. Mike did the same, grabbing whatever he thought could help them survive. As they stepped outside, the streets were no longer peaceful. People were running in all directions, screaming for help. The sound of chaos filled the air, and they knew they had to leave quickly. "We have to find a safe place," Mike said, gripping his backpack tightly. As they tried to leave the neighborhood, a zombie suddenly lunged at them from behind a parked car. Its rotting hands reached out, its growls chilling them to the bone. Mike didn't hesitate. He swung the baseball bat with all his strength, hitting the creature and knocking it down. "We need to move now," Lucy shouted, grabbing his arm. They ran toward the woods, hoping the trees would provide cover from the undead. The woods were quiet, but the silence felt eerie, not peaceful. Shadows stretched across the forest floor, and every rustling leaf made Lucy and Mike jump. After walking deeper into the woods, they found an old, abandoned cabin. It looked like it hadn't been used in years, but it was their best chance to stay safe for the night. They pushed open the creaky door and quickly locked it behind them. Using old furniture they found inside, they barricaded the windows and doors. Exhausted, they sat on the floor, trying to catch their breath. In the middle of the night, just as they were starting to feel safe, they heard groans outside. The unmistakable sound of zombies sent shivers down their spines. Lucy peeked through a crack in the barricade and saw a group of them slowly approaching the cabin. "They found us," she whispered, her voice shaking. Mike gripped the baseball bat, while Lucy held a kitchen knife they had found earlier. "We have to fight if they get in," Mike said, his knuckles white from holding the bat so tightly. At dawn, with the zombies gone, Lucy and Mike decided it was too dangerous to stay. They packed their bags again and set out for the city, hoping to find help. The journey was terrifying. Zombies appeared along the road, forcing them to hide or fight. At one point, a zombie came too close to Mike, but Lucy quickly threw a rock, distracting it long enough for them to escape. "Thanks," Mike said, breathing heavily. "I thought that was it for me." After hours of walking, they finally reached the edge of the city. They were exhausted, dirty, and hungry, but relief washed over them when they saw a rescue team. People in hazmat suits were fighting off zombies and helping survivors. Lucy and Mike waved their arms frantically, shouting for help. "Over here!" Lucy yelled, hoping they would notice. Finally, one of the rescuers spotted them and rushed over, guiding them to safety. Lucy and Mike were taken to a secure camp surrounded by tall fences. Inside, there were tents, food supplies, and other survivors. For the first time in days, they felt a glimmer of hope. They sat down near a fire, eating the first proper meal they'd had since everything began. "We made it," Lucy said, smiling weakly. Mike nodded, but they both knew deep down that the fight wasn't over. The zombie threat was still out there, and survival was the only thing that mattered now.